Okay, how to do an exponential regression is what we're about to do. So the first thing you want to do is input your list. So you're gonna go to stat, see where it says edit. We're gonna edit and we're gonna put in our X values and our Y values. So we have 0, enter, 3, enter, 5, enter, 8, enter. And we're gonna put in our Y values. 1/2, 6 2/10, 33 3/10, and 414. Okay, you want to make sure that no number or value is highlighted with the black. All are visible. Now we're going to go back. To go back on the 8384, you have to press second mode, and it's going to take you to a blank screen. And then we're going to press stat, and we want it to calculate for us. So you see where it says calc? We want it to calculate for us. And so we're going to go down till we see where it says exponential. Do you see where it says exponential? EXP. EXP regression, exponential regression. Okay. How do we know it's exponential? It's because of this model right here. It has our variable is the power. So we hit enter. And it's like, you really want an exponential model? I'm like, yeah, I really want an exponential model. So I'm going to hit enter again. And there are my values. So when you're looking at the problem in the calculator, your C is your given A value. Your B is your given base value. So now you know the values of each one. So we have C equals, we might as well just say 0.5, right? 0.5. And then our A, our base is, we want to keep as many decimal places as possible. So we usually keep up to 4. So we put 2.3162. If you're not good at rounding, remember the calculator can round for you. So you can go to mode and say, okay, I want everything rounded to the nearest 4 decimal places. So when you do the same actions, so if I do stat calc and I go down to linear regression, not linear, exponential regression, hit enter, it'll round the values for me already. So I need to be consistent with my rounding. Bad teacher. 0.496. Okay, so these are our values. So therefore our model, our f of x would be f of x equals, what's our C? 0.4996. What's our A? Times 2.3162 to the x. So now we have our equation, and it wants us to estimate 6.2. So we're looking for f of 6.2. Okay, so you have a couple options here. You can have the calculator put it in the graph for you, or you could just type it in the graph for yourself. Okay, so I'm going to model it what it's like for the calculator to put it in the graph for you. So if I want the calculator to do it for me, it's kind of more steps. So remember the step where we went to calc and we went to exponential. After that, if we want the calculator to do it for us, we got to click on where it says vars. Then we go to y vars. And you see where it says function? We want it to make it a function for us and to graph that function. So now it puts it in the y equals for us. And then it also goes ahead and graphs it for us. So it's just an added step for the calculator to do the work for you. And again, all I did was press vars and go to function, and then it graphs and plots it. So I'm looking for 6.2. So remember how on the previous screen I had you practicing graphing and just typing in the value? This is why. So I graph. Now I'm going to type in 6.2, hit enter, and the value at 6.2 is 91, and we can round it finally, 91.3. So we get roughly 91.3 bacteria. Okay, so let's go over the steps again. I'm going to clear my calculator. 712. And I'm going to go to stat. You input your values. So input our values. And I'm going to go over here, 0.5. As I'm going through it, please let me know what step you may have questions or got stumped on. So I inputted the values. After I inputted the values, I'm going to go second mode to get out of here. I want it to be rounded for me. So I'm going to go to the nearest 4 decimal places. And now I'm going to go back to stat and I want it to calculate. So I want it to calculate my exponential and I want it to graph it for me. So if I wanted to graph it, I'm going to click vars, y variables, and I want it to turn into a function. So I click 1, 1, and then hit enter. And it tells me what my initial amount is and what my rate is. It'll also input it into y equals for me. It also graphs it for me. Then to find the value that I'm looking for, I press trace 6.2 and hit enter. And that is how you do an exponential regression using the calculator.